Liquid fusion, we get to our clients sort of like two ways really, either through recommendation from our co-packers and other ingredient suppliers, or they come to us via our website as they're looking for a development consultancy to work with them on their projects. Very early on in the process, through telephone calls, often Zoom calls, we very much get a feel of who that client is, their personalities, their capabilities in themselves. Do they actually have some background knowledge to the market that they wish to play in, or are they totally newbies? There's often those people who have always wanted to make a product and have been involved in other industries, but often that brings their own skill sets back into it. So once we've understood what their product is, their marketplace, their aspirations, and also understanding who they are and what they can bring in progressing that product into the marketplace, we can have a very more specific brief that also details sort of like the feel of the product. Is it going to be carbonated? Is it going to be still? Is it for adult refreshment? Is this a premium cocktail product? If so, what's this alcohol content going to be? Or is this just a everyday healthy beverage and wellness, where we see a lot of also increasing growth in this type of trend? Then we look at the diaries and we try to work between a 4 to 6 week time period, where then the client comes in for the live development session. This live development session is really where that very flat one-dimensional concept that we've worked through on the phone is then transformed into its first tangible concept, where we can smell the product, we can taste the product, we can see how it actually feels in that consumer experience. And often that is sometimes quite a departure from the flat one, and informs then the next stages. So on a live development session, we can work in between 6 to 10 often reiterations of the recipe on that day. And compromise is a great thing, and it's a great skill set. So customers who may have wanted something but are open to explore other ideas often end up with a really fantastic final formulation on that day. And then they get to go away and wider taste with friends and family or other investors between 4 to 8 bottles. And then that enables them, along with a product costing, an understanding of what it's going to cost them to take that product to market, whether they proceed or not. The typical outcomes from a live development session is that the client then is going away with actual physical samples of what they've developed that day. It might be a couple of different options per variant if they want to test, because often the taste buds are absolutely demolished by the end of a session. They get an idea, if they're happy with it, from the commercials, what this recipe would actually cost them if they're going to do a production run. So there's an understanding of the minimum order quantities of certain ingredients, how that impacts their commercial reality. And then we can also talk through with our clients, what would a typical label for that liquid actually look like? Are there actual hard claims to be possibly made under the current EU and wider global needs, possibly if it's for America or if it's for different countries, on juice contents, whether it be mineral enriched, wellness, other things. And so therefore at this stage, or very shortly after the live development session, the customer potentially has got everything that they need to go to can design, label design, and start speaking with the co-packers who we often are putting into contact with them. So liquid fusion at the end of the day doesn't just say goodbye to you at the end of the development session, but we're here, we hold your hand for as long as you need it to, so that we can take you to your co-packer. We can, if need be, if you don't feel technically capable, actually attend your first production with your hat on, not a liquid fusion hat on, and get your product as it should be, as it was developed from the bench, to the marketplace.